They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but what if beauty in everything it encompasses is sapped away from us by an overwhelming surge of sadness?
Melancholy is drawn by Edvard Munch between 1891 and 1893. With updated renditions created up until 1896 and beyond, they can be viewed through many lenses.
The central focus of the painting depicts a man in the foreground sitting down on a beach, visibly hunched back with the palm of his hand placed calculatedly under his chin. We can surmise that he's in a state of quiet contemplation. His body posture is quite telling. The scenery itself is beautiful and serene, yet you can't help but feel a sense of dread, as if something is not quite right. We see towering hills and trees in the background, the sea almost mirroring the sky above, and yet our main subject, who is enveloped by Mother Nature in all her warmth, carries an expression of sadness. There is more to this painting than meets the eye. This painting does indeed have a story which we will delve into, but its main pursuit is to advocate and shine a light on mental health. Edvard was not the first painter to tackle this concept. Funnily enough, a painter by the name of Albrecht Dürer, a German Renaissance artist, constructed a painting aptly named Melancholy, one in the year 1514. Its predecessor shares many similarities. A rather sad-looking main subject with her hands firmly resting on her chin. She resides in a rather messy room, perhaps a personification of her mindscape. She, unlike the man seen in Edvard's rendition, has fantastical elements to her, such as wings, and can be considered otherworldly. This distinction is one of the reasons why I believe Edvard's painting resonates so deeply and is more focused on and recognized. It's unequivocally human. And why, yes, color does help amplify mood and helps bring life to a painting. Edvard does a spectacular job in being able to construct a piece which resonates with millions all around the world with a single glance. Edvard is well known for asserting emotion in his pieces. One look at his most famous piece, Scream, in 1893, tells you all you need to know about anxiety and dread. He often draws parallels from his real-life experiences, and in this solemn case, he found himself walking on a bridge with two friends. The sun was setting, and he happened to be in Ekebergåsen near Oslo. In an instant, his limbs grew heavy as sickness swept over him as the sky turned blood red. This sparked an anxiety attack, and Scream happens to be the manifestation of that very moment. Frozen in time. I find the red sky itself to be rather interesting, as it could very well be linked to the Krakatoa eruption, which occurred 10 years earlier. Edvard's journal, titled Blood and Tongues of Fire, positively ties the eruption of the volcano into the drama of the red sky and the lingering effects the eruption held over most of Europe months after the catastrophe concluded.
Melancholy is a rare piece of work because, unlike his contemporaries who depict depression in its bleakest form, take At Eternity's Gate by Vincent van Gogh, The Old Guitarist by Pablo Picasso, and La Tourrière, more commonly referred to as Sorrow by Paul Cézanne, all showcase people stricken by misery, clouded in darkness, and guilt, left to rot. Edvard, on the other hand, examines depression differently, and in doing so was able to illustrate the idea that depression can very well be hidden in plain sight. Background noise, if you will. As an artist, his primary focus wasn't to shove depression in your face, but rather allow you as a viewer to see yourself in the painting. In this way, Melancholy does not merely depict sadness, but anticipates modern understanding of depression as an internal, often invisible struggle rather than an outward spectacle. You can tell quite a lot about a man from his paintings. Death seemed to follow Edvard's every move, very much like a shadow. By the age of 5, his mother Laura Catherine Bjørstad died of tuberculosis. By the age of 14, his favorite older sister Johann Sophie passed away in 1877. In his own way of immortalizing his beloved sister, he created a painting called The Sick Child, which depicts Sophie. His father, Christian Munch, died in the year 1889, and roughly 5 years later, he lost his one and only brother, Andreas, too.
This long lineage of death is polarizing to say the least, and his grief can be extenuated in his self-portraits. The first depiction showcasing a man brimming with hope, and as time slowly passes by, his portraits seem to carry the weight of his losses, leaving behind a man who is almost unrecognizable. This is the lasting effect of depression, and to know depression and to fully comprehend the weight of it, you must go through it.
And few know this better than Munch himself.
Melancholy is captured outside on a beach. Beaches are interlinked with laughter and fun, but the color palette is very much muted. Happiness here is a form of trespass. In essence, the painting is very much ahead of its time, critiquing the human psyche and how simple solutions such as being asked to go outside to help cure sadness can only go so far. Sure, it might help in some way, shape, or form, but true healing comes from within. Depression can make the simplest of tasks such as getting out of bed or brushing your teeth feel like a tumultuous task, and it sure takes a Herculean effort to accomplish. Depression in this sense manifests quietly, in the exhaustion of existence itself. Melancholy does not offer resolution, nor does it promise recovery. It simply bears witness to the weight carried by those who continue to exist despite it. The main character is overburdened by anguish. This can be a result of a lover's quarrel. This mysterious man does indeed happen to have a name, Jappe Nilssen, who happened to be a friend of Edvard's. In the background, we see three figures: a lady and a gentleman who seem to be embarking on a voyage across the sea, and a third individual who's preparing their boat. The couple and their decisions symbolizes Jappe's source of loathing. The very prospect of the woman he loves moving on and choosing someone else over him captures a state of emotional paralysis. Edvard systematically chose to make these two unnamed characters small. They almost drown into the background. The distance between our subject and them is no mere accident either. Having made her choice, she personifies heartbreak while he embodies jealousy, seemingly out of reach and out of touch. This love affair paints quite the picture and will resonate with many, but I find the title of the painting to be rather profound. Melancholy, which can be defined as a feeling of pensive sadness, typically with no obvious cause. Although the cause here is fairly obvious, Jappe is laden with thoughts haunted by questions, the what-ifs and maybes, overthinking, mayhaps. And be that as it may, Jappe is forced to face the reality of the situation. He must confront his pain, and in doing so, he too can embark on his own journey, not towards certainty, but towards salvation.
Howdy, hey, my man! If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe for more spectacular videos. Thanks for watching!